The visionary is the big problem solver. So they're out there, closing big deals. They're out there closing the deals. They're out there building big relationships. They're, nurturing joint venture relationships to bring to the company. They're, helping drive the vision for the company. Like, some of the things that happen between Pace and I with this is, he's constantly sharing, we're constantly having conversations and he's talking about where we're going, where I'm in the weeds a lot. And I think about everything going wrong, not because I'm negative, but because all I do every day is look at all the inefficiencies and all the problems within every single business. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, everything's on fire all the time. But it's because the integrator is trying to work through those inefficiencies and because you're trying to figure out how to make it better. And part of that visionary's job is, hey, I know that you're in the weeds over here, like, making sure that everything's good and like, things aren't falling apart, but look at how far we've came. Look at where we're going. Look at all we've accomplished, look at, this next stage, look at where you're at now. So that's a lot of those, conversations. Here's some of those challenges as a visionary. This took some time, probably took a good 6 months with Pace and I working together. Was they have oftentimes, they have a tendency to have a trouble. They're reluctant to let go. They try to control what's happening. They're just like, there became a point where I'm like, Pace, stay over there. I'm taking care of this. Get out. Like, you got to go be free, go do like your, go do what you need to do, like get the deals closed, but stop like meddling within, some of the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And again, it's not because he can't do it. It's not because I can do it. It's because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be doing other things. So if he tries to get involved in, some of the minutia, and, I know that that's taking away from potential JV opportunities for more deals. I know that's taking away from him going and, establishing a newer, bigger relationship that could bring capital to our company. And I need him doing that. He needs to be out there doing that so I can make sure that everything's running smooth. That's, that's what that relationship looks like. And so a few of the other common challenges for visionaries is, oftentimes an appetite bigger than their stomach can take on, meaning they're biting off, they try to bite off more than they can chew. Obviously you guys know that Pace and I have multiple businesses together, but sometimes he wants to start like 2 new businesses in the same month. And I'm like, Pace, like I can't put together the infrastructure for both of those things right now on top of managing everything else. And then like make sure that everything's running okay. And then it's just like a whole mess. So that's, as the integrator, you have to kind of, be that break a little bit. You have to, say, hey, you got to be the voice of reason. But as a visionary, the last couple things, all a little bit of all foot on the gas, no brakes, definitely. And then sometimes the visionaries can, drive people around them crazy because they push them a little bit too hard. Meaning like, they can go to their staff and they try to drive the staff a little bit harder than maybe they can actually, perform and, feel that pressure on. So some of those just common challenges that do come up. So let's jump over to integrator real quick. So integrator is more like the running of the day-to-day. So that's, for me, I think about like, imagine like a rowboat, like row. That's what I think about every day is how do I make our business just hum along? Like, how do I make everything get to a point where it's humming along? So I'm trying to establish company clarity. I'm trying to establish, communication. And does this mean that that this all works every day and that this is how all of our businesses run? Absolutely not. So I don't want you guys to think that it's like, sunshine and rainbows. It's like some days it's a freaking nightmare and it's like shit's blowing up all over the place and you're just trying to, hold it together. So it's, it's part of it. But, that integrator, again, it's like, how do we keep the consistency going? How do we keep, how do I hold the team accountable? So I'm, checking on the team's numbers. How are we doing here? Where are we at? Why didn't we hit these numbers? How could we do better next time? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at? How do we get it to a 10? Like, those are the things I'm thinking about. Those are the things and the conversations that I'm having with, with our team on a day-to-day basis and a weekly basis. And then P&L oriented, as well, integrator. I look at them like, how do we increase, if for those of you familiar with Profit First, I would introduce that. So here's how me and Pace started Profit First together. I read the book and I told him we were going to do it, and he didn't want to do it. He's like, no, like, we're just, we'll just take money when we need it. And I'm like, no, let's just do this. This is a better idea. And so I had him listen to the audio of it. And then he was on board. But if you haven't read Profit First, that'll save your business for everyone on here, whether you're already established and driving revenue in your company, or whether you're starting off. If you're starting off, Profit First is probably going to be overwhelming. You're going to be like, well, I need to get a deal before I can manage the money of the deal. Like, I get that. But having the foundation from reading Profit First will be able to help your company be healthier. And that helped a lot of conversations that Pace and I would have, because some of the conversations we'd have were stressful about money. Because what we would do is, and some of you on here probably been there, what our strategy was that we would wholesale deals, we were flipping. If we got a big chunk of money and we're like, we feel rich this month, like, let's take a draw. Let's both take like 25 grand. Sweet. And then next month, the way that deals are hitting, it's like they're ending at the end of the month. And it's like, we don't feel as rich this month, so let's not take a paycheck this month. All right, well, next month we'll take one. And it's like, Christmas, it's like, oh, well, we aren't taking a check this month because, our marketing's hitting weird, and, let's reinvest it. Actually, here's a great idea. We found 2 rentals. We could just buy these rentals. Why should we even take a check? That's some of the stuff that was happening. And so I'm over here. I'm like, why do I never have any money? I'm like, we're making a lot of money, but I never have any of it. Like, where is it going? And it just came to like a point of frustration to where, like, I kid you guys not, this was like December 2019. I was listening to Profit First, the Audible, and before I was going to bed. Worst decision ever. Never listened to it before bed. But I was listening to it and it started stressing me out so bad. I started sweating. I was literally just sweating because I was like, wow, like, we've been irresponsible. We're not taking consistent paychecks because we're plowing it back into the business, or we're plowing it into rentals, or some other decision of I'm reinvesting it into the business. That's what was happening. And I couldn't finish the book. I stopped it. I've listened to like the first like couple chapters, and then I put it down because I'm like, this is too damn stressful for me. So, 3-4 months later, I'm still stressed out because we're still managing our money just super poorly. And it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you can't manage $100, you can't manage $1 million. That's the truth. And so, a few months later, I got back to reading. I've powered through the book, and I'm like, I'm going to make a change. We're going to make a change. And so we changed to it. The first few months were super rocky because we had to adjust to this whole new spending pattern in our business. But after we got the hang of it, after a few months, it's probably 3-4 months before we kind of started getting a rhythm. Life was amazing. Like, life has been amazing ever since, because we both get consistent paychecks. We both get consistent profit distributions. Our company is healthy. We keep our operating expenses at a reasonable level. And that book just changed a lot. So